Grabar, grabar, muy bien. Y feliz miércoles, feliz miércoles. We have many burning questions from the jokes. And the burning question will be, is a joke funny if you have to explain it?
Which understand it could be.
Is a joke funny when you have to explain it? Well, okay. So many of those I heard and I went, chuckle, because they're all very clean jokes, very clean, innocent, play on words jokes. But I did not realize how challenging that was going to be. Well, some of them I knew would be challenging, but I did not know that that many of them would be challenging. There are a couple that we actually I will not explain because a couple of them are repeats of jokes you heard in previous videos. So the one that's about the jardineros, the gardeners,
Mm.
with, nos vemos cuando podamos. We'll see each other when we're pruning, which also means we'll see each other when we can. Not gonna, we already had that one. And then the other one about los peces, el pez mágico, the magic fish, nada por aquí,
Oh,
nada
yeah.
por allá is a takeoff on nothing up my sleeve. It's a take on that. So we won't go over those two because you've heard those before. But the other ones, I'll do a quick down and dirty explanation. But, primero, first, we had a question from, I believe, Esteban earlier, who sadly cannot be here today. So hopefully he watches this, and I may just send him the shorty to this so that he does see it. He had a question regarding why does my friend who lives abroad use Feliz Pascuas to talk about Christmas?
Huh.
And there's a reason for that. Again, kind of a confusing definition reason. I thought Feliz Navidad was Happy Christmas. Well, it is, but uh, well, I was going to explain a little bit more about that. Well,
Que esta planta en España se llama flor de Pascua.
esta flor se llama flor de Pascuas. Flor de Pascuas. This is a Christmas flower, but wait a minute. She's using the word Pascua for Christmas. And this was the question that Esteban had, that he had a friend who was telling him Feliz Pascuas. And wait a minute, when I look up Pascuas, it says Easter. Wrong time of year. Wrong time of year. Well, Pascuas does double duty. So the short explanation for that is Pascuas does double duty. It's a religious holiday word, but it's used in two instances. She's going to continue. Oh, see, and we named this flower after an ambassador, an actual human being. Poinsettia is named after a person who was an ambassador to Mexico from the United States. Yeah, pero flor de Pascua. Yeah.
Y recibí un montón de mensajes diciéndome, ¿pero cómo? ¿Por qué flor de Pascua si es una flor de la Navidad?
Why is it called Easter flower if it's really a Christmas flower?
¿La Pascua no es la Semana Santa, la resurrección? Pues sí y no. Por un lado, sí, la Pascua es esa fiesta cristiana que se celebra en primavera, la
So Pascua is used for the religious holiday celebrated in the spring, which is known as Easter. But Pascua does double duty, and it also does double duty in many countries regionally. Sometimes it's just a preferred word, or maybe it would be better to say like an older-fashioned word for Navidad,
Pascua de
Christmas.
Resurrección, pero además en España tradicionalmente la palabra Pascua también se refiere a otras celebraciones religiosas, en particular a la Pascua de Navidad, al nacimiento.
So there's Pascua de Navidad, and there's Pascua de Resurrección. Yeah. So Pascua is a religious-oriented term that can be used either for Easter or Christmas. I would say that Navidad is kind of winning in the Oh, they have their own Christmas wars. We're not the only ones who have this manufactured thing. There are no Christmas wars. Uh, but yeah, Pascua does double duty for both Easter and Christmas, although I do think that the Navidad term kind of outweighs Pascuas in a lot of
Nacimiento de
places.
Jesucristo. Y por eso, antiguamente era muy frecuente
Antiguamente, prior, yeah, long ago.
escuchar la frase Felices Pascuas para felicitar la Navidad, aunque ahora son más habituales otras formas como Feliz Navidad o Felices Fiestas. Y por eso en España esta planta preciosa se llama flor de Pascua.
Ah, bien. Okay, vale. So, there is a nice short take that's seasonally oriented.
Ah,
Sí, Susana.
Una pregunta, ¿cómo se dice Happy Holidays en español?
Sí. Felices Pascuas, Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Holidays, día feriado means holiday. If people want to wish you, let's say they know you celebrate Hanukkah, let's
Right.
say they know, they'll use the word Hanukkah.
Oh, okay.
And they'll write that orthographically, they'll write it in different ways. But, yeah. I don't think there's a happy holidays greeting quite the way there is in English. Yeah. Sí. Temporada navideña. Yeah. They're seen as religious celebrations, regardless of the religion. So if they know someone is Jewish, they will use, Hanukkah
Okay.
to
All right.
talk about that.
Gracias.
Kwanzaa, I don't think is a thing in Spain because, maybe it is, maybe they know about it, but you don't really hear about it. But these are the biggies, and everybody knows that religious holidays, and everybody knows that people belong to different religions and therefore may celebrate different things. So, yeah, sí. Bien. Perfecto. Okay. So let's get down to the burning question. Is it a joke if it has to be explained? Well, okay. So here's the down and dirty. These jokes from our video happen because they are plays on words. Okay. And either the word is a word that has more than one definition, a word that serves more than one purpose. Okay, like bark and bark in English. Bark, the outer coating of a tree. Bark, the sound a dog makes. It might be a word that is spelled the same, but has two different definitions. Or it might be related in some other spelling way, two words that are actually different but sound the same. Two words that sound the same, but they have different spellings, which happened with the flagpole one. And we'll show you what happens with that. Bien. And it might be just two words that are kind of close, but not quite the same, but people mistake the word for a different word. Okay, so all these jokes relate to something like that. So we'll do a quick run through. And we're going to skip the ones you've already heard before because we're not going to revisit things that are kind of old with that. Okay, I better turn on my... Bien, a ver.
Entonces, si quieres más chistes, puedes ver ese
Tough for
otro
me to
episodio
get these on
también.
the exact
Pero venimos
right
con chistes
point.
nuevos, frescos. Y de hecho, vamos a comenzar con un tipo de chiste que se llama chiste fonético. Es decir, que
Chiste
tiene
fonético. They are phonetic jokes. Most of the majority of these are phonetic
que
jokes.
ver con cómo suenan las palabras. Ese es
How
el punto
words are
del
sound.
chiste. Eso es lo
How words
gracioso.
sound.
Y
consists
bueno,
of a
en este
joke.
caso tiene que ver mucho con sinónimos fonéticos, con homófonas. Una homófona es una palabra que suena igual a otra, pero que tiene
Homophones.
significados distintos y muy probablemente se escribe diferente.
Español y
So,
te diviertas un
okay.
montón como nosotros. ¿Listos? Ahí va el primer chiste. Un hombre le dice a otro,
One man says to
¿usted
another,
no nada nada?
"You don't swim at all?"
Y él le contesta, es que no traje traje.
It's just that I didn't bring a suit. Now, when you translate it, you totally lose that. So here are two words that sound exactly like and actually are spelled exactly like, but they have two different functions. Traje is a suit, right? Traje could be used as a shorthand form of traje de baño, swimsuit, yeah. But traje is also the past tense form for traer. So, no traje, I didn't bring the verb. Traje, I didn't bring a suit. Okay, bien. So, traje they're spelled exactly alike, they sound exactly alike, but one is a verb form, traje, I brought, and one is traje, suit. Bien, okay. So they're juxtaposing no nada nada, don't swim at all, and no traje traje, didn't bring a suit. Okay, bien. Okay. That did get a chuckle out of me. But if you're not expecting it, it is something that may get you lost. Okay, bien, bien. Oh, el gato. And this is a play on three different words.
Conoces mucho. Un hombre lleva a su gato en brazos y una
A man carries his cat in his arms,
mujer le pregunta,
and the
¿qué
woman asks him,
mono? ¿Araña? El hombre
"Qué mono?" Pause. Araña. ¿Qué mono? Araña. And mono is a word you don't hear in Mexico, but you do here in Spain. It's a form of saying cute, adorable. Yeah. But mono araña, mono, besides being cute, mono is also the noun that means monkey. And furthermore, mono araña is a spider monkey. Yeah. So you know that araña means a spider, but the way she phrases it, the joke is a play on words. ¿Qué mono araña? And it's a question, the araña part. Okay, but also besides mono araña meaning a spider monkey, the araña can be a conjugation of the verb arañar. Arañar. So, que mono, how cute. Araña, does it scratch? That's what the lady's question is.
contesta, no señora, ¿no ve que es un gato, no una
No, ma'am. Can't you see it's a cat?
araña?
It's not a spider. Okay. So you got to know that arañar means like rascar, to scratch. And the triple joke is that mono araña, besides saying what a cute cat does it scratch, mono araña is also a spider monkey, which that's why they showed you. That's why they showed you that araña can be a conjugation of, arañar, and also that there is such a thing as a spider monkey. Okay, the next one is a play on words because entrada means three, or can mean three different things, spelled the same way. But entrada can mean an appetizer, okay, what you have before your main meal, what everybody shares and kind of picks at the table when you're sitting down with your drinks. Entrada can also mean an entrance, and entrada has an even third meaning, but it doesn't come into play in this joke, but entrada can also mean a ticket. And the ticket is your entry to get into an event, okay? Whether that event is a concert or, a show on a stage or a movie, yeah? Something of that nature. So, bien. So the play on words is going to be about the word entrada.
Bueno, aquí igual están jugando con dos significados de la palabra entrada, ¿no?
Two
Entrada
meanings of
como
entrada here.
esa parte del menú que comes antes como del platillo fuerte.
Part of the menu that you eat before the main dish comes.
Y después, pues, entrada es el sitio, el espacio por donde tú atraviesas
Also the entrance to a building or a physical place.
para llegar a un lugar.
Ujú.
Una entrada de una puerta, de un restaurante, de cualquier lugar, tiene una entrada.
Sí, muy bien. ¿Cómo van? ¿Van entendiendo los chistes? Vamos a ver uno que tiene una expresión mexicana.
Ujú.
Hijo, necesito salir un momento. Échale un ojo al arroz.
Oh, momento. Why
Mamá,
did
si
that
le echo
jump
un
all the way over? That jumped all the way over. Lo siento. Sorry, guys.
Y este contesta, una puerta, señor.
Oh, momento. It's hard to get these on the exact right.
Y de entrada. Y este contesta,
Un hombre le pregunta al camarero. Man asks the waiter, ¿qué hay de entrada? What do you have as an appetizer?
una puerta, señor. Me sorprende.
Una puerta, señor. A door, sir. ¿Qué hay de entrada? What do you have as an entrada? What do you have as an appetizer? But the man misunderstood and he says, una puerta. We got a door. Just use it. Yeah. See? Okay. So there's that one. Siguiente. A ver. Okay.
mexicana.
Ujú.
Hijo, necesito salir un momento. Échale un ojo al arroz.
Hijo, una mamá mexicana dice, sí, al hijo, necesito salir un momento. I've got to take off for a minute, in a moment. Échale un ojo al arroz. Échale un ojo. Echar means to throw, or sometimes it means to toss in an ingredient. But here, échale un ojo is a very colloquial way of saying keep an eye on. Yeah. Watch out for. Yeah. Watch the boiling pot. Yeah, that kind of thing. Échale un ojo, throw an eye, is just what's used as keep an eye on something, okay? To watch it. Now, the joke here is that there is a specific word in Spanish, and if you don't know the meaning of the next word, you won't get the joke.
Mamá, si le echo un ojo me voy a quedar tuerto.
Mom, si echo un ojo, if I keep an eye on it, I'll be tuerto. And the joke is, and they don't explain tuerto here, they should. Tuerto is a specific word in Spanish that means that someone has only one eye. They're either blind in one eye and can only use the other, or, sorry to say, gross. The eye was plucked out due to, I don't know, illness, accident, some sort of thing. Spanish has a number of these words to indicate people who like have only one leg, have only one eye.
Qué raro, qué
Que
raro.
raro, yeah. This is sort of a vestige of, I like to say it is a vestige of the 1800s. You know, in olden days, en el rancho, out on the ranch, out in the fields, out on the farm, out in the old yield sweatshop, because they had yield sweatshops just like we did. People had terrible accidents on farms, in factories, and sometimes, and therefore, because people were often maimed in various types of work-related accidents, the maiming required that we had a special word for somebody who can only use one eye, and that was tuerto. And so the little kid is joking, if I throw an eye on the rice, I'll only be a one-eyed person. Okay. So to me, that was a big belly laugh because I knew what tuerto meant, but many people may not know what tuerto means, someone who sadly has only one eye. Hopefully those days are going, but everybody does know what tuerto means. Okay, bien.
Esta creo que sí es
Yeah. Échale enojo. Okay. A ver. But échale un ojo is just used for keep an eye on. Yeah. And because echar also means to throw, yeah, you've also got that. Okay, a ver. Uy, ¿dónde está? Yeah, but échale un ojo means supervises, you supervise, you watch over something. but sadly, they did not explain tuerto. Okay. Oh, el soldado. This is the one I had to look up, that I was confused because when I heard it and I heard ise, well, I only took ise to mean one thing. But I did not realize there was another verb. Okay.
Muy literal y toma el significado de echar como de poner.
Poner.
Entonces,
Okay.
pon
Yeah, because
un
it's hard
ojo
for me
en
to
el
get the
arroz,
exact
pues no
moment.
puedo porque se va a quemar, voy a perder mi ojo y voy a estar tuerto, que así es como le decimos a las personas que no tienen un ojo.
Ujú. Bueno, vamos con otro. Un general le dice a un soldado,
General says to the soldier,
soldado, hice la bandera.
soldier. And when I heard this, hice la bandera, I literally took it the same as soldado, which, as David explained, must be a stupid soldier at the end of the joke. I felt like stupid soldier, but hice la bandera, the only way I would know that is hice. And you see in the AI, they spelled it that way. And why does the AI spell it that way? Because that is what 99% of that sound ise will mean. It took literally the word that you will hear 99% of the time if somebody says ise, H-I-S-E. Ise we know as the preterite for yo, preterite of hacer. Ise means I did. And that's the way I took it. And I thought, why is that funny? Okay, un soldado. He says, soldado, hice la bandera. And hice la bandera, I would take to mean as I made the flag. And that's how the soldier took it. But,
Y el soldado le responde, le quedó muy bonita, mi general, la felicito.
and the soldier replied, le quedó muy bonita. It turned out really pretty. See, lo felicito. I congratulate you. It turned out really pretty. Le quedó muy bonita. Wow, you made a lovely flag. You sewed it all yourself. But there was a different
Hice la
verb.
bandera.
Hice, y aquí voy a explicar cómo se escribe.
Ajá.
Porque aquí sí, aunque el sonido es igual, la
Here they
escritura
knew
es
people would
diferente.
know the writing.
En el chiste escrito, digamos, hice es I-C-E. No hay un...
Ise is how that would be spelled, but it comes from a verb isar. Ise is a command. It's an usted command. Ise la bandera means raise the flag. It means raise the flag, but it's a command that has a spelling change because it comes from izar, I-Z-A-R, izar. When would I ever use izar? Nunca, never. So izar means to run it up the pole. Yeah. Yeah. It means to run something up a pole.
Is that I-C-E or I-S-E?
The verb itself is I-Z-A-R, but if you change that I-Z-A-R into a command, an A-R verb has to go to an, not using an A at the end, but a letter E at the end, and you can't have Z and E next to each other. So it becomes I-C-E. Oh, what a long explanation. It no longer becomes funny. But yeah. So I kept thinking, hice la bandera. I made the flag. Why is that funny? And then I thought, is there another verb? And I started Googling. Oh, there is another verb by golly for raise the flag. Run it up the pole is isad with a Z. And if you make that a command, you can't have Z and E next to each other. So it becomes I-C-E, ise. And ise, I-C-E, sounds just like ise, H-I-C-E. So they're spelled differently, but they sound exactly like the bark thing in English. Okay, so that's why that happens. Y por eso.
Do you think that Mexicans really follow all that and get all that?
You know what? If you're a little kid and you run the flag up the pole and you know that your friends do that, yeah, you know what? You probably do get it.
Okay.
You know, that was the sole one where I was like, well, geez, I've got to look
Yeah,
that
I get
thing
that.
up.
I made the flag, whatever, like, what?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're gonna skip the gardener one because you already know that one. You've heard that before. Uh, oh, okay. Esto, precioso. This one's cute.
Podamos, pues sí, mientras
Okay,
podamos,
got it.
tú y yo nos miramos.
Ujú. Vamos con otro chiste. La mayor exportación de Australia son los boomerangs.
The biggest export of Australia is boomerangs.
También son la mayor importación.
They're also the biggest import. Okay, we get that one. Yeah. That's just a take on what a boomerang does. Entienden that one you get. Okay. A ver.
Muy tonto, pero
Decimos chistes malos.
sí es un chiste
Yeah,
malo.
bad jokes.
Aquí va otro. Tengo un amigo otaku que estaba triste.
This one I didn't get because I'm too old. And actually, I was really glad to hear Anna say that she didn't get it either. But it has to do with you have to, in order to get this joke, you have to be 20-ish. And you know what? I bet my daughter would get it if she heard it. Animar is to pump somebody up, to cheer them up. You know, to tell them you can do it. Animar. You're rooting for your friend. Animar. But anime, I cheered that person, sounds the same as anime, which is well, it's the same in English, anime, which is the Japanese cartoon thing. So to get that, you got to be 20-ish. You've seen anime cartoons. Nobody here falls in that category. We're going to skip that. But it is a play on words because anime, although nothing having to do with Spanish, but with a Japanese cartoon thing. Aha, aha, aha. This one touches a little on a word that we had this fall.
Noche, pero aquí estamos
Okay.
grabando. Así que este chiste es perfecto, perfecto.
Ok.
Hola, ¿tienen libros para el cansancio?
¿Tienen libros para el cansancio? Do you have books about fatigue? Cansancio would mean tiredness. We wouldn't say tiredness. You'd say fatigue.
Sí, pero están agotados.
Pero están agotados. And you know that agotados is one of the words we use to say that you're really super tired. Yeah, agotado is like an elevated word for cansado. Okay, están agotados. They're all sold out. Or in some cases, it could even mean all beat up. But yeah, sí. Agotados here. We used to say somebody extremo cansancio, extremely tired, but it also would in this case mean that they're all out of stock. They're also the agotado. They've run out. Or maybe even that it's a beat up version. So yeah, see. Okay, the next one has to do with what you call people who live in various cities. You know, like we talked about this, Angelinos, Porteños are people who live in Buenos Aires, right? You know, Chilangos, we have the name for people who live in Mexico
Otro.
City.
Oye, ¿sabes cómo se llaman los habitantes de Nueva York?
Do you know what people who live in New York are called?
Híjole, pues, no todos.
Ah,
No todos. Híjole, pues, come on. No todos, not all of them. Porque hay tanta gente que vive en Nueva York because there's so many inhabitants of New York. It's just a yuck. Very corny joke, right? See? And they go on to talk about some city names. Actually, this is something I'd never heard, and this is something that was hard for them too. Aguascalientes. Aguascalientes es una ciudad en Mexico. Yeah, one of the cities in Mexico is called Aguascalientes, which means hot water. But if you live or an inhabitant of Aguascalientes, even David and Anna were surprised about this. They were guessing it would be a certain way, but it was hidrocálidos, which doesn't sound like Aguascalientes, but has the same meaning of the hot water thing. Yeah, okay. So I'm glad to know that even they get stumped by certain things. Okay, bien. A ver, another thing that has to do with where somebody lives. Okay.
De su hija para casarme con ella.
Oh, momento.
¿Para qué?
Too
Sí,
early.
en inglés sí sé, pero en español
Creo que son
neoyorquinos,
neoyorquinos.
Okay,
neoyorquinos.
that's
Okay.
a
Ajá,
hangover from the
neoyorquinos.
New York.
Pero bueno, él piensa que le está preguntando por el nombre y dice, pues no, claro que no sé cómo se llaman todos los que viven en Nueva York.
Hola, soy paraguayo.
Hola, soy paraguayo. Hello. Paraguayo es la persona que vive en Paraguay. ¿Sí? Paraguayo. Hola, soy paraguayo. Hi, I'm a Paraguayan. I'm from Paraguay.
Y quiero pedirle la mano de su hija para casarme con ella.
Ah, quiero pedirle la mano de su hija para casarme con ella. I want to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage so I can marry her. And the play on words is that he says, soy paraguayo, and the dad doesn't quite hear him correctly.
¿Para qué?
Paraguayo.
¿Para qué? The dad asks, ¿para qué? Because he didn't really hear paraguayo all that well. ¿Para qué?
Paraguayo. ¿Qué es un
¿Para
paraguayo?
qué? And the guy
Justamente
answers, paraguayo. ¿Para qué would mean like saying, what for? I want to ask your daughter's hand in marriage. ¿Para qué? ¿Para qué? He didn't hear the paraguayo part of it right, and the guy repeats paraguayo. Okay, bien, yeah. It's just how words sound. ¿Para qué? Because he didn't hear all of the Paraguay. ¿Para qué? And the guy repeats paraguayo. Okay, next one makes a little more sense, maybe. The químico thing.
Los químicos.
¿Cómo se despiden los químicos? And químicos can mean either the thing we call chemicals. Químicos can also mean people who study chemistry, chemists. Químico can also mean a chemist, person who studies the topic or works with chemicals, right? ¿Cómo se despiden los químicos?
¿Qué son
How do
los
they say goodbye?
químicos?
Bueno, puede ser
Dos
dos
cosas.
cosas, ¿no? Los químicos pueden ser literalmente los
Las sustancias.
líquidos, sustancias químicas con las que los químicos, las personas que estudiaron química, están haciendo los experimentos, ¿no? Entonces es la persona y es la cosa.
Entonces, ¿cómo se dicen adiós dos personas que estudiaron
How do they say
química, que
goodbye?
son químicos? Ha sido un placer.
Ha sido un placer. Ha sido un
Y eso es
placer.
chistoso
Ha sido un placer. It's been a pleasure.
porque ha sido del verbo haber y ser, ha sido un placer. Es como, qué placer fue conocerte, ¿no? Ha sido un placer.
Ha sido, it has been, sounds the same as ha sido. Ácido and acid, which is, obviamente, es un químico. Ha sido un placer. Ácido. Okay, because when you say ácido quickly, it sounds like ácido. Okay, bien. That's just a cutesy joke. Two words that really aren't spelled exactly the same, but sound kind of similar. But they're two completely different meanings. Okay, a ver. Pam. Oh, I skip over that. Sí, no, no. Bien. Lo de la serpiente.
Pues
Ok.
lo había olvidado, ¿no? Entonces es como un...
Sí, cuando decimos que sí, es como, ya cállate, ya te dije muchas veces. Ya hemos hablado de esta expresión y aquí está en un chiste. Aquí te va otro que también es fonético. Me acaba de picar una serpiente. ¿Cobra? No.
Me acaba de picar una serpiente. A snake has just bitten me. Picar can mean to sting or to bite. So in this case, yeah, a snake has just bitten me. And the other person asks, cobra, meaning the type of serpiente, cobra. But cobra also is used more commonly to talk about charging people for things. So the person says cobra, meaning cobra, but
Gratis.
no, gratis.
Entonces,
The person who was bitten says, no, gratis, no, for free. And the way you ask, am I going to be charged, is me cobra, yeah? So cobra would typically be heard 90% of the time to talk about charging somebody for something. And it's a silly play on words because cobra can also mean a type of snake, of course, a super venomous type of snake. And the confusion because there are two ways we can use that word cobra, but the common way would always be cobrar, to charge somebody. Ok, a ver. Pa, 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 pa. Yeah, cobra y cobra, cobra, cobra. El tipo de serpiente o cobra si el precio, como hablar del precio de algo. Ok,
Dice un ganso a una gansa.
¿qué dice un ganso a una gansa? What does a male goose say to a female goose? See, ganso, the male goose, gansa, the female goose.
Venganza.
Venganza.
Venganza. Venganza. Yeah, venganza could be mistaken to mean, come here, little goose. Venganza. See, but venganza is also a long word
Como de
that
venganza.
means vengeance. Yeah, vengeance, venganza, revenge, venganza, but venganza, ben, comma, cansa. Come here, little goose. Okay, so that's just a cute play on words. Bien. Okay, we've got the magic fish. You've already heard that joke before, so we're not going to go through that again. Oh, this one, sí.
Y aquí estamos otra vez jugando con el verbo nadar.
Ujú. Un maestro le dice a un niño, Jaimito,
Teacher says to the kid, Jimmy, Jaimito.
¿qué harías si estuvieras ahogándote en el mar?
¿Qué harías? What would you do? ¿Qué harías si estuvieras ahogándote en el mar? What would you do if you were drowning in the sea?
Y le dice el niño, llorar para desahogarme.
The kid says, I would cry, llorar, I would cry para desahogarme. And desahogar doesn't mean the same thing. These are two verbs that are kind of close. Ahogarse is to drown. Desahogarme, but des can kind of be a prefix to mean to negate. Ahogarse. Llorar, I would cry to get it all out of my system. Yeah. Desahogarse is a verb that means to get it all out, to yeah, like you're upset about something and you just cry it out. That's what it means. To let it all out, to let all the bad feelings out is desahogarse, to unburden yourself emotionally. So it's a play on words of des could mean to negate the action of ahogarse, but this desahogarse has completely different meaning. Let out all the bad feelings is desahogarse. Next one was a kind of a play on word of anclas. Anclas are anchors, like for a boat. And ¿cuántos anclas tiene un barco? How many anchors does a boat have? And if you hear somebody say, eleve anclas, eleve anclas, eleve means raise anchor. Okay, meaning pull up the anchor. Eleve anclas would be the way somebody would say raise anchor. But the misunderstanding is that eleve sounds a little bit like the English word 11, and they're thinking how many anclas, how many anchors does it have? And they're mistaking it for the word 11 and giving that as the number. Okay. Not as good as the other ones, but hey. Bien. The other one was a Hello Kitty joke. For me, not funny, just because I don't know that much about Hello Kitty stuff, except that it's a cartoon. Okay. Bien.
Bueno, el hermano está enfermo, entonces es bronquitis.
Bronquitis,
Aquí hay
yeah.
otro. Soy celíaca.
Soy
Sílaba antes del
celíaca.
final.
Soy celíaca. Perdón. ¿Dónde está? Where'd it go? Ay. A ver.
ciencia de este problema, pero
Soy
usamos el
celíaca, and celiaca,
Es una
people who
persona-
are allergic to gluten have celiac disease. Yeah. And so,
Pero bueno,
soy
el
celíaca.
hermano está enfermo, entonces es bronquitis.
Aquí hay otro. Soy celíaca. Mucho gusto, yo soy Ana.
Celiaco sounds like the name Celia. Celia would be Celia or Cecilia. Soy celíaca. Ah, mucho gusto. Pleasure to meet you. Soy Ana. I'm Ana. Okay. Bien, just a misunderstanding. Rather than I have an allergic reaction to gluten, celíaco. Yeah. They think they're giving their name. Okay. So that's an innocent little joke. Asthmatic. Oh, the next one is a grammar joke, and you may not get it. The guy says, see. The guy goes into the doctor.
Soy asmático. ¿Es
Soy
grave?
asmático. Soy asmático. Le dice al doctor, soy asmático. I am asthmatic. And this is a grammar joke. Asmático has an accent mark on the third from the last syllable, right? The term asmático. And the grammar term for a word that has to have a written accent mark on the third to last syllable is esdrújula. So the guy says, soy asmático. I'm asthmatic. Es grave. Is it grave? Is it serious? But grave is also a grammar term meaning punching the second to last syllable.
No. Es esdrújula.
Tu ex-
And the guy goes, no, that's not a grave word that punches the second to last syllable. It punches the third to the last, and it needs an accent mark. Yeah. Unless you're a grammar nerd, you don't get that. Esdrújula. I laughed at that one, but nobody else would. Okay. Bien. Okay.
Pero ¿qué son 50 físicos y 50 químicos juntos?
¿Qué son 50 físicos y 50 químicos juntos? What do you call 50 physicists and 50 chemists together? Juntos.
50 físicos.
And David is thinking hard.
No.
50 and 50 is 100. Yeah, and 100 means 100, right?
¿Sí?
Científicos.
Oh.
Científicos and the
Sí,
play on words. That one's easy to understand. Científicos is just a play on words. Científicos means scientists, yeah. But cien also means 100, so científicos, yeah. Científicos. Hay otra broma. Oh, sí. Bien, okay.
Un juez dice,
Un
¿cómo
juez dice, a judge says,
se declara el acusado?
¿cómo se declara el juzgado? How does the accused plead? ¿Cómo se declara el acusado? How does the accused plead? The judge asks from the bench.
Con flores. Soy bastante tradicional.
Con flores, soy bastante tradicional. The accused answers with flowers. I'm very traditional. Doesn't sound very funny at all, but there are two definitions for declararse. ¿Cómo se declara? How do you plead? Also has a second meaning. Whoop.
Explícalo, este está muy bueno también.
Ajá. Declarar tiene, pues, realmente es un sentido, es el uso declarar, es decir, ¿no? O sea, como yo declaro algo. Pero se puede utilizar en diferentes contextos. Se utiliza mucho en términos de leyes, en los juzgados, cuando dicen se declara culpable, se declara inocente, ¿no? Es
Guilty,
una frase
to
muy
plead
hecha.
innocent.
Pero también usamos declarar como te voy a
Declararse is also to propose marriage. To propose. And so, of course, then it makes sense that he proposes with flowers. Es muy tradicional. Así es. Ok. Bien. Bien. And oh, the other joke was, el autobús suele pasar. It usually passes by this way. And the other one was about, and the other one was just a sound thing. Crema reafirmante would be a tightening cream. You know, like it's something to tighten up all your skin and make it tight. Crema reafirmante. But reafirmar would be to reaffirm. So the answer to was about, do you have or did you use crema reafirmante? And the answer was sí, 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 sí. And, reafirmar would be to say yes, 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 to confirm it again. Okay. Kind of a silly joke there. Okay. Bien. Vale. Enough of that. Enough of bad jokes. But, pero, okay. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? What are we going to do next? Vamos a ver. Voy a enviarles a ustedes un plan que no es un plan estricto. Este es un plan, pero quiero que quizás ustedes piensen un poquito de algo que pueden hacer. Comes from a lady you've seen a lot of videos on, from Brenda, la Argentina, Brenda, the Argentine lady. And I will send this to you via the email at the end of class. And don't feel you have to print it out. No es necesario. It is not necessary. It'll come to you in a PDF. But she has a 30-day plan for like little things you can do in the next month to work on your Spanish. One little thing every day. And I don't want you to do every one of these things every day. You're surely going to be far too busy to do that. But it has some very cute things one could do. And so we're just going to talk about a few of them. I would like you to pick one thing off the calendar between now and January to do, something easy that you can bring back to class for the first day and show that you did something to practice your Spanish. So we're going to highlight what some of those things might be. And a lot of these she has a repeat, like la técnica de sombreado. Well, you may do a shadowing exercise where you listen to a video and you repeat what they say, but that's just vocabulary practice. That's not something you can bring back to class. But, aprende la letra de una canción en español. Learning the lyrics. La letra es lyrics. See? You can learn the lyrics and maybe sing just the refrain of a little song, and I'll give you maybe some ideas. And I'll need to do that tomorrow because I need to make up a list. I can give you a list of artists that might be good candidates to listen to, because some songs get to be very, very super fast and harder to understand. Others will be easier to understand. So I'll give you a list of some artists tomorrow. But listening to a song. Okay. Bien. Escribe 3 objetivos para este año. Write 3 objectives for this year, meaning kind of, I guess, a New Year's resolution list. 3 things to do, 3 goals to hit, 3 objetivos. Maybe that's what you want to do. Escribe 10 cosas que hiciste esta semana. Write down 10 things that you did this week, and maybe you want to shorten that to 5, 5. Yeah, see? But que ustedes pueden usar el pretérito. You can use the preterite to talk about 5 things, 5 cosas, sí, que hiciste, 5 things you did in the previous week. That would be a good little thing you could prep of what you had done between now and when we see each other again in January, and bring it back to class. See? Bien. And this one I would say is not something you're going to actually do, but maybe you could incorporate into a little something to bring to class. they said make a class and record it, but make a class of your favorite pastime, your favorite hobby. You could maybe do a description of your favorite hobby, however, because I don't expect you to record a YouTube. So maybe describe your favorite hobby. Yoga, en la cocina, algo en la cocina, la pintura, painting, something that you do. Lee una noticia en español. You could maybe read a little thread or tweet or Reddit thing about some news item en español. Bien. 10 palabras relacionadas al cine. 10 words related to movies. Oh, well, you could do something like that. You could talk about different elements of a movie or different things about a movie. Describe a tu familia en voz alta. Describe your family aloud. En voz alta is aloud. So you could describe your family and come back and bring that to class. That's a little short narration. Algo fácil, something easy. Lee tu horóscopo. Read your horoscope. I'm not much into horoscopes, but if you're into that, sure. Escucha un podcast en español. You could listen to a podcast, and you could tell us what it was about. Sí se puede. Yes, you could. So I would say take one idea, adapt it somehow from this, prep a little something to bring to class for the first day. Algo fácil, muy simple, see, something very, very simple, and you'll get that little calendar, but don't feel, of course, you have to do all of them. Es difícil. That is a tough one. Okay. See, bien? So, a little something. Bien. Okay. Ahorita, now. ¿Qué pasó? Bien, okay. I just hit a wrong button that skewed everything I had. Vamos a leer. We're going to do a little reading. Vamos a leer. Esto es fácil. Tengo que engrandecer la pantalla. I do have to make this lots bigger so that you can actually read it from your screen. I would like people to take some turns reading this. And son descripciones muy concisas. Descripciones muy básicas. So we're going to see if people want to maybe take some turns reading. I'm going to make this a lot bigger. Emma, the theme. El tema es 24 cosas, 24 things. 24 cosas que sucedieron por primera vez. Things happen for the very first time. Sucedieron is a past tense of suceder. Suceder is like the verb pasar or the verb ocurrir. Ocurrir, to occur, to happen. And suceder is just to happen, like pasar can be used that way or ocurrir. But 24 cosas que sucedieron por primera vez en 2024. 24 things that happened for the very first time in 2024. Una serie de hitos, acontecimientos y tendencias asombrosas, sin precedentes. Things, trends, events, accomplishments, things that happened that have no precedent, that never happened before, sin precedentes, things that never, ever happened before. Y voy a leer el primer evento, una dirigente. Dirigente would be somebody who heads up an organization, like a leader, yeah? Una dirigente de Sinn Féin. ¿Saben qué es Sinn Féin, no? Sinn Féin es una organización originalmente muy revolucionaria de Irlanda. ¿sí? Una dirigente de Sinn Féin llega al máximo cargo, to the head job, the head leadership position. ¿Sí? Cargo would be a leadership position. Whoever takes charge es el cargo. Yeah, that's what the cargo word is about. Llega al máximo cargo de Irlanda del Norte. Por primera vez, Michelle O'Neill del partido político Sinn Féin, que históricamente ha estado a favor de la unificación de Irlanda del Norte con la República de Irlanda, ocupa el cargo más alto de Irlanda del Norte. So, okay, así, bien. Somebody from Sinn Féin, which used to be a very revolutionary group, is now in the head position of the government in Northern Ireland. And they traditionally have advocated for the reunification of both parts of Ireland. So that is a first. Okay, algo distinto. Los científicos, científicos, we've got that word again. Los científicos detectan agua en la superficie de un asteroide. ¿Alguien quiere leer? Somebody want to read this?
Oh, I'll read.
No, Karen, sí. Empieza, por favor.
Por primera vez, los investigadores han detectado indicios de moléculas de agua en la superficie de un asteroide.
Asteroide, sí.
Los científicos esperan que el hallazgo pueda ofrecer datos sobre cómo llegó el agua a la Tierra hace miles de millones de años.
Bien, sí. For the first time, investigators have detected traces or indications of water molecules on the surface of an asteroid. Scientists hope that this finding, encontrar means to find, but there's a second verb that also means encontrar, and that is hallar, H-A-L-L-C. A-R, and the noun for that is hallazgo. Finding or discovery. That's the word hallazgo. Scientists hope that this finding or this discovery might be able to offer data or information about how water arrived on Earth thousands of millions of years ago, hace miles de millones de años. Hace miles de millones de años. There's our ago phrase, thousands of millions of years ago. Okay. Deprimido. I'll let you read that on your own. That's depressing. That's about a shooting. Don't want to read about the shooting. I'm done with that stuff. Ok, se trasplanta con éxito un riñón de cerdo a uno humano. Riñón es kidney.
Oh.
Kidney. Bueno, bien, Juanita, ¿quieres leer aquí? ¿Sí?
En marzo, cirujanos del Hospital General de Massachusetts transplantaron por primera vez un riñón de cerdo modificado genéticamente a un ser hermano.
And we'll pronounce that word genéticamente. Genéticamente.
Genéticamente.
Bien.
Aunque los médicos confiaban en que el órgano funcionaría.
Okay, that's a hard word. I'm going to help you with that one. Funcionaría.
funcionaría
Sí.
durante al menos 2 años. El receptor del riñón porcino murió en el mayo debido a problemas médicos no relacionados con el trasplante.
Perfecto. Sí, bien. Okay. In March, surgeons from Massachusetts General Hospital transplanted for the first time a pig kidney. See? A genetically modified pig kidney. How do you genetically modify a pig kidney? No sé. Into a human being, un ser humano into a human being. Although doctors were confident that the organ would function, and there's that word funcionar, to function, to work. Yeah. And this is a hypothetical. That's why it's in the very hard to pronounce condicional. Funcionaría would function or would work for at least 2 years. The porcine kidney recipient. Porcino means it comes from the el cerdo. It's a different word that also talks about something related to a pig, yeah? The porcine kidney recipient died in May owing to medical problems unrelated to the transplant. Okay. Bien. Maratonista. Un maratonista. A marathoner.
Oh,
Ista is somebody who does a job, right? Marathon is a marathon. Maratonista is somebody who runs a marathon. Un maratonista extremo, he's not just any old ordinary maratonista. Un maratonista extremo recorre África de punta a punta from one endpoint to the other endpoint. Yeah, see? Bien. An extreme marathoner runs all the way through Africa from point to point. Ay, no lo puedo imaginar going through a whole continent. No lo puedo imaginar. I cannot imagine that one. Anybody want to tackle this one? This has got a lot of numbers. Bien. Bueno, Diana.
I'll try.
Bien.
El maratonista extremo Russ Cook se convirtió en la primera persona en correr por África de punta a punta, recorriendo alrededor de 16,000 kilómetros en
Bien.
el transcurso de 352 días.
Perfecto.
Cook, de 27 años, comenzó su agotadora odisea en Cabo de las Agujas, Sudáfrica, en abril de 2023. Por el camino pasó por diversas dificultades, como ser retenido a punta de pistola por unos ladrones y sufrir complicaciones de salud. El 7 de abril completó el viaje en Cabo Ángela, Túnez, recaudando alrededor de 8,103,000, no,
Sí.
dólares para obras benéficas.
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 I usually read this as obras caritativas, pero benéficas, it refers to a beneficiary. So obras, which means works, obras benéficas is sometimes expressed as obras caritativas, charity work. Yeah. Charitable organizations, somebody that does charitable work. Okay. The extreme marathoner, Russ Cook, se convirtió. He became the first person to run through Africa, correr por Africa, run all the way through Africa from one tip to the other. Yeah. Punta a punta, one tip of the continent to the other, around 16,000 kilometers in the course of 352 days. Cook, 27 years old, began his exhausting odyssey, agotadora, exhausting odyssey in Cabo de las Agujas, South Africa. So he started in the south, right? South Africa. In April of 2023. Along the way, por el camino literally would mean along the road, but here you're really talking the whole way. It's not just one road. So por el camino would rather be said as along the way. He passed through various types of difficulties, like being retained at gunpoint. Detained at gunpoint, by thieves and suffering health complications. I would imagine that many miles. Yeah, you're going to have some health complications. If all you get out of it is blisters, you're lucky. Okay, on the 7th of April, he completed the trip in Cabo Ángel, Tunis, so Tunisia. Yeah, the northern part started in South Africa. Now, recaudando means gathering funds. Recaudar is to collect funds. So fundraising. He completed this raising funds of around $873,000 for charitable works, obras benéficas or obras caritativas. Bien, okay, bien. And now we've got an esdrújula. Oh, perdón, sí, Fred.
Would you just, beginning with the top number, just quickly, in Spanish, go through those numbers again?
Sí, claro. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. Sí, un poquito más, okay. 16,000. 16, and it's 1,000 words. So, 16,000.
Okay.
Bien, okay, vale.
Sí.
352. 352, sí. 27, fácil. Okay, easy one there. Yours are easy when you get to the 2000s. Yeah, because it's 2000. Anything in the 1900s, my students used to hate because it was 1900, 1900. Nobody likes to have to remember 1900. But in the 2000 century, it's easy. 2000. 2023. 2023. Okay, 2023. Y el 7 de... y esto sí, difícil. So you break this down into the 800 number. 800 is 800, right? So, 873,000. Yeah. So you break it down to the hundreds, but it's 100 of thousands, right? So the mil just always stays mil. So you just have to remember the 873,000. Y Diana, hiciste muy bien. Diana, you did really well on all those numbers. Tengo que decirte. I have to tell you, that is great. ¿Sí? Bien? Okay. Muchos números, lots of numbers there. Aquí. Oh, here is an esdrújula word. Here's an esdrújula word from our joke. Oh, it's a stick an accent mark on the third syllable from the end. That kind of a word is called an esdrújula. I know. Okay, but tetrapléjico. Tetra means this many.
4.
Quadriplegic.
Muy bien. Quadriplegic. En inglés, quadriplegic. En español, tetrapléjico. Ok. ¿Quién quiere leer aquí?
Okay.
Bien. ¿Alguien? Anybody want to read this one? ¿Sí? ¿Algo? Bueno, sí, Pat.
Okay. Noland Arval, un hombre tetrapléjico de 30 años, se convirtió en el primer ser humano en recibir un implante cerebral de Neuralink. En mayo, Arbau dijo que el chip del tamaño de una moneda le ha cambiado la vida, dándole un control casi total de una computadora que utiliza
Utiliza.
con sus pensamientos.
Sí, bien. Okay, so here are two words I want you to focus on a little bit. This word moneda.
Moneda, okay.
Moneda. Moneda is a coin. And instead of, your brain desperately wants to say this as total, but it's total.
Total, okay.
Total. We're going to punch the end. Total. Okay. Bien. Gracias. So, Noland Arbaugh, a 30-year-old quadriplegic, became the first human being, ser humano, first human being to receive a brain implant, from Neuralink. In May, Arbaugh said that the chip, and it's the size of a coin, has changed his life. Le ha cambiado. It has changed his life for him. The for him is the le word, is changed his life, giving him almost complete control of a computer that he uses with his thoughts. Wow. Well, if you're quadriplegic, Neuralink might be a great idea. For the rest of us, maybe not. But, yeah, see. Yeah. Ooh, here is something you are going to get your listening exercise about this event. And specifically this guy. You are going to have your listening video. It will be about this. And Michelin is a company, yeah? Michelin stars are given to, I think, hotels too. Hotels, but restaurants. And it is a very prestigious thing. I don't even know what you have to do to get a 4-star, but even to get a 1-star rating from Michelin is considered a huge, big deal. Big deal. So they're going to talk about una taqueria, a taco stand. Taquerias, a taco stand. Un puesto de tacos, a taco stand, which we also call a taqueria. But un puesto de tacos obtiene una estrella Michelin en Mexico. A taco stand, not even a restaurant. You can't go in and sit down. You belly up to the bar and order like everybody else. Okay, it's a stand. A taco stand gets 1 Michelin star. Bien. ¿Quién quiere leer? Who'd like to read this? ¿Alguien? Anybody? ¿Alguien? Okay, bien. Gracias.
Okay. Una taquería que desde hace casi 60 años es un sitio esencial para los habitantes de Ciudad de México. Tiene algo nuevo que celebrar. Una estrella Michelin. La taquería El Califa de León se convirtió en el primer y único puesto de comida callejera de México que logró este honor. La taquería solo acepta efectivo y vende 4 tipos de tacos: 3 de res y 1 de cerdo. Desde que recibió la mención Michelin, el tiempo de espera en el puesto ha llegado a ser de 3 horas.
Wow, wow, bien.
Must be
Ah,
good.
sí,
Wow. Yeah.
sí, nada malo, bien, sí. A taco stand, which has been around for 60 years and is a special place for Mexico City inhabitants. Uh, has something new to celebrate. One Michelin star. The taqueria is called El Califa de Leon. That's the name of the place. It became the first and only street food stand in Mexico to achieve this honor. So, a sit-down restaurant is where you expect to see maybe somebody, if they're very lucky and they're super, super good, to get one Michelin star. So for a street food joint, yeah, to get it where you can't even sit down is a huge, big, big deal. The taqueria only accepts
Cash.
Cash.
Yeah.
cash only. It's a cash only taqueria, and they sell 4 types of tacos, 3 beef, 1 pork. Since it received the Michelin star, the wait time at the stand has become 3 hours long.
Oh.
Wow, you got to be a dedicated, yeah, you got to be a regular.
And they run out of food, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Well, you would think. So your listening video will be with the guy who works at El Califa de Leon. That is going to be your listening video for the coming week. It is quite interesting, and of course, he is. This was huge news, and David did an interview with him, and it is super interesante. It's really, really
What does
interesting.
Khalifa mean?
Pardon?
What does Khalifa mean?
Oh, Khalifa has to do with a caliphate.
Yeah,
Khalifa. Yeah.
like
The old Arabic
Muslim,
reference to
yeah.
like
Right,
really in a political entity, a geographic.
right.
region.
But it's an area of governance.
It's just a name for a restaurant,
Yeah.
like you might call a
in Islamic
place
countries, yeah.
State 48 instead of, that
Uh-huh.
means it's referring to Arizona being state number 48. Yeah, I mean, it's just a name. Califa de Leon. Leon can mean lion as well, but Leon refers to a region in Spain as well. So it's just the name of the taco stand. Okay. Bien.
Marilyn,
Sí,
when
sí.
they say tres de res is beef?
Res means beef.
I've never heard res be beef or carne.
When you look on a menu, menus have categories, as you know, because many of you have been traveled and seen, we have categories for menus.
Yeah.
So sometimes some speakers of Spanish will just list beef as la carne.
Mhm.
And you can kind of assume that will mean beef under certain circumstances. But a much more specific way of referring to beef is carne de res, carne de res, and it's R-E-S. Carne de res is very, very specifically beef, as opposed to pork or veal well, no, veal would be a type of res, yeah. But that is a really specific term for beef. Comes from the cow, okay? Arabia Saudita organiza un desfile de moda en traje de baño. Desfile is a parade. De moda would be fashion. So a fashion parade, we would call it a runway show. Runway show. Okay, ¿sí? Y voy a leer aquí bien que Arabia Saudita organiza un desfile de moda en traje de baño. Por primera vez en Arabia Saudita, modelos en bikini y traje de baño desfilaron por la pasarela durante la Semana de la Moda del Mar Rojo, celebrado en mayo en el complejo turístico St. Regis Red Sea Resort. Es una novedad en el país que hasta hace 5 años obligaba a las mujeres a llevar la cabeza cubierta y usar túnicas holgadas. For the first time in Saudi Arabia, bikini and swimsuit models walked down the catwalk or walked down the runway, right? Desfilaron mean they paraded down, and that's, yeah. Pasarela would be the walkway, yeah. Walked down the model runway during Fashion Week. La Semana de la Moda would be called Fashion Week on the Red Sea. On the Red Sea. Celebrated in May at the St. Regis Red Sea Resort. It's a tourist complex, complejo turístico. It's a novelty in a country that until 5 years ago used to oblige women to cover their heads and use shapeless tunics. Yeah, usar here we would say wear, and wear like flowy tunics, yeah, things that are not shape forming, yeah. Holgadas. Ok. Bien. Del mundo animal. From the animal world. From the animal world. I'm going to do the last few here that take us up to the end of the hour, and we're going to skip this depressing number 10 one. Ok. Número 9. Científicos informan que un orangután se trató con hierbas medicinales, sí, medicinales en su hábitat natural. Scientists inform us that an orangutan treated himself with herbal medicines in his natural habitat. En mayo, unos científicos anunciaron que habían observado a un orangután macho, a male orangutan, un orangután macho frotándose hojas de plantas medicinales en una herida en la cara. ¿Sí? En una reserva forestal de Indonesia. Para curarse la herida utilizó las hojas masticadas, chewed up leaves, hojas masticadas de acar kunig o raíz amarilla, una planta usada por los humanos en todo el sureste de Asia para tratar una serie de afecciones, incluida la malaria. Bien. So, scientists observed a male orangutan rubbing, frotándose, rubbing medicinal plant leaves on a facial wound at a forest reserve in Indonesia. And people apparently, and in order to cure this wound, la herida, this wound, he used chewed up leaves. And many ancient cultures would sometimes chew up leaves to get them in a pulpy state, yeah, so they could use it to, like as a salve. And they're saying, wow, look, an orangutan did this. Pretty smart orangutan. And this is a leaf that is used by actual human beings. So, yeah. What came first, chicken or the egg? The orangutan?
Exactly. Who did it first?
Yeah. Which first? We're going to skip number 10 because you've read about that and everybody's sick of it. Here we go. Okay. 11. Los científicos reportan haber visto el nacimiento de las primeras galaxias del universo. Wow. Scientists report having seen the birth of the first galaxies of the universe. Yay! Investigadores de la Universidad de Copenhagen en Dinamarca lograron ver el nacimiento de las primeras galaxias a través del telescopio espacial James Webb. Investigators at University of Copenhagen in Denmark succeeded in seeing the birth of the first galaxies through the Space Telescope James Webb. Estas tres primeras galaxias se formaron hace entre 13, ¿sí? 13.300 y 13.400 millones de años, cuando el universo tenía entre 400 y 600 millones de años. I cannot even wrap my mind around this one. First three galaxies were formed between 13,300 and 13,400 million years. I don't even want to think of how many decimal points that is because I'm bad at math. Okay. Here's a great word. Huelga. Huelga es strike.
Oh.
Ajá. Los trabajadores de Samsung se van a la huelga. Samsung workers go on strike. Los trabajadores de Samsung Electronics hicieron en junio una huelga de un día. A one-day strike. What the heck good is that gonna do? One day? Guy. Los pobres, poor guys. I guess it takes guts to even do a one-day strike. La primera en la historia de décadas de la gigante empresa. There's one of our vocab words, gigante. Yeah. The first in the history of decades of this gigantic company. Empresa is a financial empire. Yeah. Compañía, bigger, more impressive word than compañía, company. Luego del fracaso de las negociaciones sobre salarios, after the failure of salary negotiations. ¿Sí? Samsung ocupa el primer puesto. Samsung holds first place entre todas las empresas coreanas en la lista Forbes global 2000 de este año. They were the first place Korean company on the Forbes list. ¿Ok? Bien. Y eso es. We'll leave you the rest of these to read through. They're kind of some fun topics, and you don't have to read a whole ton. China obtiene rocas de la cara oculta de la luna. China gets some rocks from the dark side of the moon. The dark side is not called the dark side of the moon. It's called la cara oculta, the hidden face. Hidden face. ¿Sí? El rey Carlos III abre el castillo de Balmoral al público. Charles III opens the Balmoral Castle to the public. Una empresa estadounidense es declarada responsable de asesinatos cometidos por un grupo terrorista colombiano. Wow, a U.S. company is declared responsible for the assassinations committed by a terrorist group in Colombia. Whoa, Chiquita Burns bananas get a bad name. Okay, here we go. El breaking debuta en las Olimpiadas. Breakdancing debuts at the Olympics. Una actualización de CrowdStrike provoca un gran colapso informático mundial. An update. Actualización is an update. An update from CrowdStrike provokes a huge computer. Anything informático always pertains to computers or computer work or programming. A huge programming collapse, a huge network programming collapse throughout the world, mundial. Sí, Canadá toma medidas para limitar los residentes temporales. Canada takes measures to limit temporary residents. Astronautas completan la primera caminata espacial privada. Astronauts complete the first private spacewalk. La primera nación gran nación industrializada cierra su última central eléctrica de carbón. The first great industrialized nation closes its last carbon-fueled electrical station. Yeah. La primera mujer presidenta de México toma posesión de su cargo. The first female president of Mexico takes charge of her office, takes office. ¿Sí? Los científicos trazan un mapa de todas las neuronas del complejo cerebro de un animal adulto. Scientists trace a map of all the neural complex, the nerve complex, in the brain of an adult animal. Don't get too excited because it's a fruit fly. Es animal, it is an animal, pero muy pequeño. Un dúo de padre e hijo juega en un partido de la NBA. The first father-son duo plays in the NBA. ¡Yay! Grandes noticias. Y una surcoreana gana el premio Nobel de Literatura, and a South Korean wins the Nobel Prize for Literature. So you'll get to read about all those things, and you will get the actual interview con el dueño de la taquería o el chef. I think he is the head cook guy at El Califa de León. So that'll be your listening video for the next 2 weeks, and it's a long one. So it's a good one to have as the very last one. You probably want to slow it down a little bit, pero es interesante. It is interesting, and talks a lot about Mexican cuisine and all that fun stuff. And they've got to be awfully good to get a Michelin star. So, eso, sí. Bien, bien. Muy bien. Eso es todo. That's it for today. See? You will not get a Zoom link for next week because Christmas. So, así que disfruten la temporada navideña. Feliz Hanukkah, feliz Navidad. Happy whatever you celebrate. And if you celebrate nothing, celebrate having some time off. Yay. Bien, see? And celebrate having time with family and friends and all that good stuff. Because even if you celebrate nothing or everything or one or the other, it's good time to get together with people and just have some fun. Okay, vale. Magnífico. Bien. Fue un placer.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad y feliz Hanukkah. A todos, sí. Muy bien, muy bien. Muchísimas gracias.